Hello, everyone. It's Sharon Taylor, founder and CEO of the Business Vision and Development Center, and your business strategist. Yes, I'm now your business strategist, just because I say so. But anyway, we are here on Books for Business. Today, I want to talk about finish what you start. The art of following through, taking action, executing, and self-discipline. You can't see it here, but you can see it on my virtual background over there. And before we get started, I just wanted to let you know I'd like you to be an active participant on Books for Business about business success. And that means joining the book club. Not really, but I'd like for you to chime in, give comments, join me on Books for Business, talk about books that you like, didn't like, and review the ones and talk about the ones that I'm going to share with you. So if you want to join me on Books for Business, email me at info@thebvdcenter.org so we can get your schedule. Okay, I'd love to have you. I love a good conversation about a book. So anyway, Finish What You Start is by Peter Hollins. It's a nice little book. It's not very long. Let me see. It's about 192 pages. It's 8 chapters. But what I like most about it, it gives you techniques to avoid procrastination and to help you get through it. Me, I procrastinate. I'll go do laundry. I'll spin around in the chair. Oh, let me see what the puppies are doing on Instagram. I know what it's like to procrastinate, so I'm speaking from a place of knowledge. But one of the things that I really exceptionally like about this book is that in the back, there's a summary guide. So those of us who grew up in the days of Cliff Notes, where you just buy this little handout and you read about the book and then you write a paper for your professor, that's what this is similar to. But so the summary guide will talk about each of the chapters and give you the highlights, which is a great thing. And I'm going to share some of those highlights with you today. So chapter 1 is called Stop Thinking and Just Execute. So and I'm going to just give you some examples as we go through. So people will say, well, what are you doing? To me, oh, I'm thinking, I'm a thinker. And then I say to myself, but when are you going to do something with all those thoughts? Oh, I jotted them down in my journal. Well, what are you going to do with those things that you jotted down in your journal? You get my drift. So the thing about just execute is following through on something. If you don't follow through on an idea, a project, then you haven't created what you want it to be. You have the idea, but execution is the goal, or is it? Or are you just about creating ideas and keeping them up there? And there are some things that prohibit us from executing. And so he talks about some inhibiting tactics that we use. And some of you may be aware, some of you may not be, but some of those tactics that keep us from doing what we need to do is setting bad goals. Procrastination, well, at least we picked the book up, at least you're listening. Indulging in temptations and distractions. And poor time management. I'm good with most of those. Mine is indulging in temptations and distractions. naps are always a good distraction and a temptation. And I say, well, a nap gives me a chance to refresh. Okay, believe what you want. Poor time management, I'm pretty good with, but a lot of people suffer from that because a lot of times you just put too much on your plate and don't have time to get to the things that you have set as a priority. And so if it's a priority, it needs to be moved to the top of the clock chain. And then there are psychological roadblocks that keep us from moving forward with our goals. And some of those are laziness and lack of discipline, fear of judgment, rejection, and failure, perfectionism out of insecurity, and lack of self-awareness. So yeah, I think mine would fall into, sometimes I fear rejection. I like operating in a vacuum and not putting stuff out there because I'm not sure how it's going to be received. So I do spend a lot of time making ideas, making lists, and not executing. So be aware of those things that could keep you from moving forward. Chapter 2 is about staying hungry. And so when you look at your goals or things that you want to accomplish, you got to stay hungry. You got to motivate yourself. This is something I want. This business, I've been wanting this all my life. I got to do it. Nothing can stop you. And I'm sure there are things in your life that you've said, I want it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to have it, and nothing stopped you from getting it. So you have to apply that same principle in business to things that you want out of your business. If you want to earn, if you set your goal at $100,000 a year, there's no time for procrastination. You got to be on it. So you have to think of it like that. You got to stay hungry for what you want in order to execute. Chapter 3 is called Create a Manifesto. And it says a manifesto is nothing more than a set of rules to follow every day. So here comes another set of rules to follow. But what I can tell you is that without rules or guidelines, you don't know where you're going. Rules help you stay on track, and they help you to reach your goals succinctly and less effortlessly than if you just were doing it willy-nilly. So I encourage creating a manifesto. I call it a strategy. I call it an agenda. Whatever the word is that you like, do it. Don't procrastinate. Write it down. And that includes the goal, the milestones, and the timelines. It can't just be something that sits in the book that you put a mark next to and say, well, I'll get to it whenever. It has to have some meaning. Chapter 4, follow through mindsets. And, now, and they may have been talking about it for a while, but it's all about your mindset. You got to have abundance mindset. You got to have law of attraction mindset. But I do agree within it mostly. You have to train your mind to do what you wanted to do. Your mind you ever heard your mind has a mind of its own? It will go off to look at butterflies. It'll be counting the little ticks and the, scratches in the wall if you let it wander. You have to control it. There are times when, yes, you just wander off. But if you don't, that's a lot of time that you didn't use to achieve your goals. So one of the mindsets that they list is mindset number 1. You have to tell yourself it's worthwhile. The thing that you want, the thing that you're doing, you have to say, this is worthwhile. Whether it's for yourself, someone else, for your community, it's got to have some value to it in order for you to have that mindset of completion. I want it. It's worthwhile. I've been wanting it. I'm going to do it. That is your it's worthwhile mindset. The second mindset is becoming comfortable with discomfort. This is kind of because as we move along in business, sometimes the first challenge we get, oh, this is just too damn complicated. I just can't figure out how to write this business plan. I don't know how to set up my website. And you just say, so is it really worthwhile? You go back to that. And if it is worthwhile, you got to plow through. Nothing is easy. Nothing worthwhile is easy, especially if you want to have some revenue. You got to put the work in. So just remember that you got to do the follow through, whether it's comfortable or not. Mindset number 3 is without following through, there is no learning. And if you don't understand that, that's saying that if you never get to the end, you haven't learned anything. You stop midway. There's a lesson in everything. Even the stopping midway teaches you that you didn't get to your goal. So when you finish something, you can evaluate yourself and correct your errors. So people that have challenges, they give up, it's too hard, it's too difficult. I look at challenges as a learning opportunity. I'd be like, oh, that didn't work out the way I thought it would. So let me pivot, let me change and try some new ways of doing things, because during your business journey, there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of pivoting. There's going to be a lot of changing strategy along the way. And you know what that is? That's growth. And mindset number 4 is the detrimental power of stress and anxiety. If you're stressed out, if you're anxious, you are going to have a difficult time producing a great product. It'll be rushed, it'll be haphazard, and it won't bring you joy. And people know right away when you've done some work and you were not joyful while you were doing it. It's sloppy. It's just got this energy of anger and malice and discontent. So if you're going to do a task, if you're going to create a business or you have an idea, operate from a spirit of joyfulness and thank God that you have the ability to even do it. So the anxiety and stress, yes, we all have it. Sometimes it's necessary to push us forward. But if you are sitting in that, then that's going to be a deterrent for you to get where you need to go. So now we're into chapter 5, the science of smashing procrastination. So they are temptation bundling. And what that does is all the little tasks that you hate to do within a task, bundle them all together. If it's like doing your budget, administrative tasks, get all your administrative tasks together that you need to do. Some we like more than others. Some we like to post on social medias. Other people like to answer emails. Some people like to do budget. Whatever it is, take the ones that you like, throw in one of the ones that you're not as comfortable with, and make that your first task. Then you can reward yourself with all the things, the tasks that you love to do next. Start easy and small. That's sort of like the same thing. Don't try to do the biggest task first. Start with something small. When people ask me about their business plans, it's sort of the same thing. It's a lot of components, typically 11 components. Don't sit there and try and write the whole thing in one swap. Take the different components, think about it, plan it out, and you'll see that your work has a better benefit to you by doing that. And then you'll get it done. If you try and take it all on at one time, there's a good chance you're going to put it over there. Procrastination. And then sometimes you just got to kick yourself in the butt. You got to get up, you got to say, this is the day, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let nothing stand in my way. So I don't really recommend that because it feels more like a punishment and a chore. So we are going to give ourselves a little push, but reward ourselves along the way. So if I get something done, I put a little check mark next to it in my book. I may treat myself to a dessert. I may treat myself to something that I really like, take a break, go for a walk, and then come back to it. So we're going to put a pin in it for right now. That takes us up to chapter 5, and that's the science of smashing procrastination. We're going to resume in 2 weeks. Maybe you'll get the book and read it, check out some things, and we're going to get back at it in 2 weeks. Again, it's Finish What You Start by Peter Hollins. And thank you for joining me on Books for Business. If you want to know what books are coming up, or if you have some recommendations, again, write me at info@thebvdcenter.org and join me on Books for Business. See you in 2 weeks with chapters 6 through 8. See you soon.